Welcome to this new war diary for Fog of War. This war diary is going to be for Operation Supercharge, which is a tournament that we're playing in Western Australia, mid-war, 105 points. So I need to make a list. That's going to be the first in the series of videos I want to make. So I'm going to look at a list this time, and then I'm going to be building whatever I need to build for the list. And I'll keep you guys up to date with what's happening. What am I building? How's the painting coming along? What existing things can I use? Stick with me and we'll see what list I end up with. Okay, here I am at Forces of War. Now, I'm going to try and build a list, 105 points mid-war for Operation Supercharge. I am a lazy person. I initially thought about doing this using stuff I already have. And in fact, if we go off to my saved forces here, there are a couple of lists, which you can't see down off the bottom of the screen here, that I tried to work with. So let's have a look at this, which is my Soviet list. I bought a Soviet Bagration list to the last tournament we played, which is late war. And I thought, oh, maybe I can do something about this for this tournament. Maybe I can reuse that. The problem being my other list was based around IS-2s and IS-85s, and I can't really do that for this one. So trying to put that into mid-war just wasn't working for me. So I started with a mixed tank battalion, put in some KV-1s instead of my IS-2s, took some Valentines because that was one of the options here, and some Hero SMG. That's the only thing I could put into that particular Red Banner force for the mixed tank company. In support, I took my favourite KV-8 Flame Tank Company with my 3 KV-8s. They worked very well for me last time. I took some BA-64s for recon, a 76mm artillery battery because they were quite good, Motor Rifle Company, and I did manage to get a pair of IS-85s in here. So that was 105 points all up. Got me a couple of IS-85s, and I could do that by building a couple of KV-1s and some Valentines. All the rest of it was stuff that I already had. But it wasn't sparking joy, to be honest. It wasn't really doing it for me. So I got away from that. Let's see where I did get to. So here we are back at the saved forces, and I've got a noodle I did for Italy. So previously I have played a tournament force which was Shermans and infantry in Italy, and I thought, oh, maybe I can use Armoured Fist to do essentially an Italian list. So this is what I came up with. So I had a Sherman Armoured Squadron HQ with 2 Shermans, a troop of 3 Shermans, and another compulsory troop, and instead of taking more Shermans, I took some honeys, because less points. So I took 25-pounder field guns with a honey OP, 6-pounder anti-tank platoon with 4 6-pounder guns, because I really like 6-pounder guns, 2 Hurricanes, they're a tank-busting flight, and then I've put some infantry in. So I put in a rifle platoon and a motor platoon. I had a couple of points left over, so I managed to go for sticky bombs, that command card for 2 points. I quite often take sticky bombs. The problem is, with sticky bombs, you can as much blow yourself up as anybody else, or at least that was the way it used to work. I don't know if that's how they work in version 4. I'll go and have a look in a minute. But yes, I've quite often done myself more harm than I've done, but sticky bombs are useful and interesting. And because it is Italy, so Armoured Fist is very much still focused on the desert. It's not really built to do an Italian list, and the costings aren't quite right for an Italian list either. you're still paying desert price for Shermans in the Italian campaign. So while technically, yes, you can do Italian lists, it's still really just a reskin desert list, to be honest. So to get rid of the boys' anti-tank rifle and to get into the Piat, I took the Piat command card as well. Now this is okay and is probably playable, but yeah, no, it wasn't really doing it. It didn't really feel like an Italian list to me. So that was, yeah, I tried using Armoured Fist to do a historical Italian list. I don't know if they're going to bring out anything. I understand they're going to do late war Italy, so maybe that will be more useful, but it's a mid-war tournament and that didn't get me very far. So let's try something different. Given I want to play British, I want to use some of my British desert stuff that I already have. So let's go Armoured Fist. Now, I keep saying that Flames of War is a tank game, and Flames of War is essentially a tank game. I keep getting into trouble saying that, but nonetheless. So, saying that it's a tank game, I'm going to start with a rifle company. So, I'm going to grab myself a rifle company HQ, 2 SMLE rifle teams. I'm going to grab myself a rifle platoon. So this is the 7 Bren gun and SMLE rifle team, boys anti-tank rifle and a 2-inch mortar. If you can hear something weird on the audio, by the way, it has just started to rain. So yeah, I apologize if you can hear the spattering of rain on the roof. Okay, so I still have a compulsory rifle platoon I need to take. Let's go and do that. Now, last time I did this, I took a 5 Bren gun and SMLE rifle team unit. I'm going to go for 7 again. The problem is I painted up 5 last time, so I'm actually going to end up having to paint 2 more infantry stands for this particular thing. Should have done those last time when I did it, but I'm very stupid, so I didn't. Alright, so that's saved. We're up to 24 points at the moment, and that's my rifle guys. Now, with a British list, I almost always take 25 pounders. And I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to take 3-inch mortars. I'm going to take 4 3-inch mortar crews. Now, I have actually got some desert 3-inch mortar guys, some of which are built. I think I've got 2 stands built. That leaves me 2 more stands that I need to build. I do have a box of 6, so that gives me all up 8. But I'm going to field 4. So 2 built but not painted, 2 completely not built. So that's something else I'm going to have to get done in the 5 or 6 weeks until the tournament happens. So let's save that one. So I'm up to 30 points now, so that's 6 points there. I like 6 pounders. Look, here's 4 of them. 12 points. Job done. I've already got those from my previous time I've played a similar list, a desert list. So they're all done, ready to rock and roll. I think they maybe need some bushes stuck on their bases, but, you know, if they don't, nobody's going to cry. The last time I did this, I like Vickers medium machine guns. They give you in mid-war a really good rate of fire against attacking infantry or something like that. So I think they're really worth the points. Last time I did it, I used my late war Vickers guys, you know, who were painted for Northwest Europe. Again, I have bought and built, but not painted, a desert Vickers medium machine gun platoon. So more knees painting. It's the only problem with desert. You've got to paint British knees. So let's grab 4 Vickers medium machine guns in a team. So that's another 4 points. Universal Carrier Patrol. Now I am using dynamic points, so these will have gone up. These are more expensive. Yeah, I'm going to stick those in there. I'm not going to take the boys anti-tank rifle, but that does give me scout and spearhead, so hopefully that will stand me in good stead. Okay, so we've got 49 points so far. Let's see what else we want. I'm going to do something weird. I'm going to come down to the Armoured Fist command cards, and I'm going to buy an Australian Divisional Cavalry command card. That gives me access to this. So the Australian Armoured Corps had, at this point in the war, Crusaders and some Honeys and some Universal Carriers. So I can take 2 Crusaders as my HQ for 3 points, so I'm going to save that. I'm also going to take a 3 Crusader 2-pounder troop, and I'm going to take some Honeys because I already have some of those painted, and if you remember, I'm very lazy. And there's a compulsory Universal Carrier patrol. So we'll do that. So there we go, I'm up to 65 points, and that gives me some tank support. Not amazing tanks, but tanks, and numbers of them. Alright. If we return to force, I need some more anti-tank punch. I'm going to take something I've never taken before. I'm going to take a 17 25-pounder anti-tank troop. And I'm going to take 4 of them. Now, I have a philosophical problem with the 17 25-pounder. They were only available in limited numbers in the desert. I need the anti-tank 12 out of this particular unit, so I'm going to take them. There were about 100 supplied. So what happened was the British had started manufacture of the 17-pounder anti-tank gun, which was an excellent anti-tank gun. But what they didn't have was they hadn't got a purpose-made mount for it. Now, building a mount for a field or an anti-tank gun is a fairly complex process. It needs to be balanced, needs to work properly. What they've done in this case is just jammed it on a 25-pounder trail. So what it was, it ended up being a little bit nose heavy. It didn't rotate as well on the turntable as the 25-pounder that it was balanced for. So my historical issue with it is they weren't common, but they were there. There were 100 of them. So I've just decided to get over myself and actually take them because I need some anti-tank. If the Germans can have lots of Tigers in the desert, then damn it, I'm going to have 17 25-pounders. So these guys are fearless veterans and careful. And they've got a 4-up gun save. So there we go. 4 by 17 25-pounders. Actually, I can't afford that. I have to go for 3. There we go. Remember how I'm lazy? I've got 3 of these guys painted. So there we go. So let's have a look at what we've got so far. I've still got 4 points. So I've got my rifle company with a rifle company HQ and 2 completely tricked out rifle platoons. I have a 3-inch mortar platoon with 4 mortars, 4 6-pounder guns, 4 Vickers medium machine guns, 3 Universal Carriers, 17 25-pounder anti-tank troop, 3 of those, Sherman armoured troop, and I've got my Australian Divisional Cavalry command card. So I've got 2 Crusader 2s as the HQ, 3 Crusader 2s as the armoured troop, and 3 Honeys as the second armoured troop, plus the Universal Carriers. Let's get back to the force. Alright, so here we are back at the force. I am going to make some changes, I think. So I'm going to go back to my rifle company. I've already got Universal Carriers. So I'm going to drop those out of here. That might give me enough points to go for the 4 17 25-pounder guns. 102. Great. Okay, so if we're going to do that, I am going to go for sticky bombs, because sticky bombs. So I'm going to go for those. Oop. can't afford that. There we go. So, 104 points. So I've got sticky bombs. So if I get assaulted, infantry and gun teams in this unit, anti-tank 3 and firepower 1+ against top armour in assaults until the end of the turn. If you don't know what sticky bombs are, they are a very British invention. So lacking a decent anti-tank round, they're actually made of glass. So it's a glass ball grenade that's coated with adhesive. So basically you run up to a tank, slap this on, and the glass ball is filled with explosive and it detonates. The problem being, of course, that it's sticky, so it can stick to uniforms or trees or your skin. It doesn't seem to have the notation in version 4 that you can blow yourself up, but in version 3, basically, if you rolled a 1 on your attack with sticky bombs, that you blew up the attacking team, your own team. So, yeah, that happened a lot. So there we go, 104 points. I'm sure I can make up another point somewhere else, but essentially what I've got is the list I want to take to the tournament. So let's just have a look at that again. So using dynamic points, I've got my rifle company, 2 platoons, 3-inch mortars, 6-pounder anti-tank guns, Vickers medium machine gun teams, 4x17 25-pounder guns, which I need to build, the Sherman armoured troop, which I already have. They're mostly painted. They need a wash and a dry brush. I'm sure I can do that in 6 weeks. The sticky bombs, and the Australian Divisional Cavalry. So that gives me universal carriers and a lot of light tanks. So if I need something to run around the flanks and distract people with, or make rushes on objectives, or move across the table quickly, I should be able to run those guys around. So this is a desert list that I'm hoping to take to Operation Supercharge. So if anybody is near Western Australia, if you want to come in June the 3rd at Northern Boards in Wangara, if you are interested in coming and playing, there are still spots open, so let us know. I'm assuming people won't fly internationally to come and join us, but, you know, if you're an Australian or a Western Australian, please come and join us. So, now that I've shown you the sort of list that I'm going to take, how about you give me some feedback? Is there something I should take differently? Is there something you would do differently in a list? Or do you have some advice for me about how I could make this list go? Should I be playing it in a particular way for strengths or weaknesses? I tend to be a reasonably defensive player. I'm not very good at taking the infantry here and making them attack. I'm not great at that. What I can do is absorb a lot of punishment and then try and hold on and whittle people down and then grab an objective to try and take the game. So, my usual performance in a tournament is 1 loss, 1 win, and 1 draw. But we'll see. I got slaughtered all 3 losses last time with my Russians. So, not losses I was ashamed of or embarrassed about, but losses nonetheless. So, we'll see if I give a better performance. Again, I talked in the last War Diary series about what we get out of our hobby, and the fact that I got thrashed 3-0 didn't really matter. We got together, we had a great time, we put some minis on the table, everybody had a blast. I would like to win. I would like to win quite a bit, but I'm not going to get into having a loss eating into enjoying my game. I get to play very, very, very rarely. Like, this is the first game since COVID, I think. Anyway, so if you only get to play a couple of games every couple of years, you really need to get the most out of it that you can. So, even though I'm lazy, there is a bit of painting to do. I haven't built the Crusaders yet, so that's 5 Crusaders. The Universal Carriers, again, I used my late war ones before. Shermans are good. 17 25 pounders I need to build. And 2 more rifle platoons for this, plus the 3-inch mortar guys. Yeah, I can do this. I'm sure I can. Anyway, I will publish more war diaries as we go along to show you the progress of this. It usually turns into a bit of a run at the end because, like I say, I'm a little bit lazy and I put things off. But hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.